All right, guys, welcome aboard to the Force Multiplier Bonus Workshop. We've already done a little bit of an introduction here. We're just now starting the recording for those of you that may be catching the replay. What this is going to do, this is going to kind of help you get started, kind of answer some of your questions as we go forward. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll be on here as long as you guys need me. And I'll try to answer everything that I can. If I can't get to it, or if I don't know the answer to it or whatever, then what I'll do is I'll research it, and then we will get on the next go around. I'll try to answer it then. So does that sound cool with you guys? Let me know in the chat box that that's cool. Some of the stuff is that you're going to be seeing is new to the server. So we're going to we'll be walking through some of those things. And John's bringing up one of those things, which is excluding cities. So we'll kind of walk through that here in just a brief moment, and kind of talk a little bit about what kind of the next level is for using the software. So this is a two-part workshop. So this is this one, and this is going to be more along the basis of how to get your campaign set up. It's going to be more about what it is that we're doing, kind of what the goals are. I've gotten a lot of support. Just questions, not support really, but just questions about, okay, what do I do in this scenario, or what I do in this scenario? And I really feel like it's important that we kind of get a foundation for what the tool is used for to begin with, right? So it's one of those things that I feel like we kind of some of the stuff may be a little bit of a rehash, but we're going to be going through this along the way, and I'll kind of show you some of the new bells and whistles that we got, and kind of talk about what's kind of coming up. In the next session, we're going to be talking about what it is that you need to do to not only use this, but also use this in conjunction with using the same kind of approach, but using it with video, right? Because there's some things that you can do with video to really just push it out there to the masses, kind of what we're doing with Force Multiplier. And also, just letting you guys know this, using Force Multiplier will actually help your video rankings too, because you're able to get this, where you can embed your video. So the more embeds that you have, obviously, the better off it's going to do for your videos. So, Michael, you should be getting that link real soon. I set that up a couple of days ago, and she's going to be emailing out for that too. So I'll be on that call as well. So just it's all good. I think it's that call, I think, is actually going to be next Thursday. So yeah, it's coming. So just part of that's on me, because like what I was saying, I had a little bit of challenges at the beginning of the week that kind of took me away from the computer to where I was kind of MIA for a couple of days. And yeah. All right, so let's get rolling here. I'm not sure what you're referring to, John, on that. On that, I don't know what you're referring to on that. So let's just kind of go through some of the things that we have just recently changed, and we will go from there. So let me minimize that screen here, and we'll pull this one up. Okay, so this is my campaigns, right? So this is all the campaigns that I've put together. Now, one of the things that when we started this thing, you had to have a city and state, right? So like, let's just say you wanted US. By the way, we've added Australia already. We're going to be adding more to that. But before, you had to have a city and state. Well, what's coming is where you can actually use this to where you can just use your custom variables. Okay, so like, let's say you don't want to use a city or state. Let's say you just want to use something completely different. Let's say you want to use colors. So like, let's just say, for example, you wanted to, I was talking with someone before the call. Let's say you wanted to make a page for let's say you're into the wine market. Okay, and let's say you wanted to make a page for every bottle of wine that's out there. Well, you can actually, in the new version that's coming out here in the next day or so, you can actually put in a placeholder where you title it like brands, and then you can list every type, in this case, every type of wine that's out there. You can list those, and it's going to create a page for every one of those. Okay, so that's something that's going to be in this newer version that we're testing right now, and just trying to make sure everything is all good to go. So something else is that you can actually going to be able to edit the cities. Okay, so like, let's just say, for example, right now, the way that this works is, let's say we're going to do Alabama, right? Okay, so what you can do, you see right here where it says, please click the selected state to edit the cities. Okay, so someone was asking about the exclude button. What was happening was a lot of people that were on that initially picked this up was like, okay, look, I'm having to go through and I'm excluding, a ton of cities, more cities than what I'm doing including. So what you can do is you can double click on this and you can edit the cities list. Okay, so let's say you've got a client in 3 cities or 5 cities. You can go in and just create pages just for those 5 cities. So that way you're not having to exclude 95.9% of the cities, and you're not spending your time having to click each and every one of them. You can just edit this list as you see fit. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box. Cool. That's a lot better. It's a lot better functionality. It gives you guys a lot more flexibility to doing that. Daryl, we're looking for Canada, and if you've got a good resource for like Canada cities and the zip codes and everything, shoot it over to me if you don't care. Cool. So that's one of the main things that we've done. It's basically where you can actually edit the cities that you see here in this particular state. Okay, so again, that just gives you a lot more flexibility to where you can, let's just say publish. If you only want to publish 5 cities, and then let's say you get somebody, let's say you get let's say you get a client to pick up another city or something along those lines, then you can add that city to your list as you move forward. Okay, so again, all you have to do, it's real simple, is once you go right here, there's no button right here. You just double click on the state that you've got, and you just edit that. Make sense? Okay, cool. Yeah, by the way, just so you guys know that may be watching this later, there will be a replay in the members area. So we're recording this, provided GoToWebinar doesn't crap out on us. If GoToWebinar craps out on us, we'll do another webinar. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be here. We're going to be taking care of you. This will be replayed. It will be in the members area, so you can watch it again later on as many times as you want. So again, just want to make sure that we got that sorted out. So that's one of the main things here too. Now, let's just go here. The main thing that you want to that you've got to keep in mind is that this is all about volume. So the more pages that you pump out, the more traffic that the idea is that the more traffic that you're going to be getting as you move forward. And you're going to get a drip here, a drip here, a drip here, a drip here, but it's all going to add up. Okay. And what ends up happening is Google is that they're rewarding sites that have more content, have more pages. These pages are getting indexed. Let me just show you right here. Let me just show you this right here too. This is a site that I created during the promotion for this, which has only been like last week. Okay, so this is I don't know if you saw all of my videos that we did. This is one of the demo ones that I did, drugrehabandtreatment.org. If we just do a search for that, you'll see this has already got 2,210 pages indexed. Now, this is not even me doing anything with any kind of indexer. Okay, if you're wanting to get them indexed faster, then you can use Holly's badass indexer. That will get them indexed a lot quicker. But notice this is no indexing, no linking, no nothing, and we've got 2,210 results. Now, let me just see if I can pull up the campaign on that and show you how many states that is. I think it's this one here. So we got Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, and Georgia. Okay. So you'll see that's the domain. And we've got 5 states. So I plugged in 5 states. Now, if I wanted to start out with, say 2-3 states, and say a week later, let's say I wanted to go back and add another one to it, I can come in here and just drop that in and just continuously build on what I have as the base. So when you first start, you don't have to like publish every single city of every single state. You can come in here and you can select one state, and then next week you can come in, select another, and just continuously add on to that. Okay. So what ends up happening here, and this is what's really cool about this, is this will automatically build a sitemap for you. Okay. So this is the main sitemap. Does everybody follow me so far when I say the main sitemap of the page? Okay, cool. So this is going to build this into the main sitemap. Now, not only that, but we also have a second. The sitemap's automatically built for you, John. So whenever you publish it, wherever you publish this, you're going to have a sitemap link. So right here, you'll see you've got home and sitemap. These are automatically going to be built. Okay, so you just click there, and that's going to take you here. All right, so whatever states that you build, if you're building, the states and cities, it's going to have a state sitemap. So in this case, you got sitemap AL. So this is all the cities that I've published in Alabama. Okay, so I want you to think about whenever the Google bot and the search engine bots are coming to crawl your pages, what they're doing is they're just following the links. Okay, so by breaking this up into having state sitemaps, you're going to be able to get your stuff indexed a lot quicker because this page is not going to be going on for days. Okay, so like let's just say if we had just one sitemap and it had every single city for these 5 states, then this page is going to just be a huge, just a super, super long page, right? And what's going to happen is it's going to take the search engine bots longer to crawl those pages. But by us having these broken down into states, then that's going to allow the bot to come crawl them, and they're going to get indexed faster by having these broken up into cities. Does that make sense? Just trying to give you guys an understanding of exactly how this thing works. Cool. Hey, Daryl, can you send that to me via email? If you've got that, that would be a big help. We're working, also, a lot of people are asking like UK, Canada, and things like that. We're working on it to where, and I'm not making this as a promise, so don't say, oh, Derek said this or whatever. I'm making it to where you can edit and create your own stuff too. So like, let's say you've got your own cities list, then you can just plug them in there and let it rip. Okay. So that's kind of what I want, but again, we're kind of still in the infancy, so we're tweaking a few things here and there. So, so this sitemap, these sitemaps are all in one domain. So like whatever I pull this here, whatever states that I select, they're each going to have their own sitemap built in automatically. Okay, so you're going to have this one sitemap, and then it's going to the links are going to go out to each state sitemap. Okay, and so the quicker that you get these state sitemaps indexed, the faster that these cities are going to get indexed as well. Okay, because that means the Google bot is going to come crawl these pages, and it's going to find these links a whole lot faster. Okay, and somebody suggested maybe we discuss getting them indexed faster in the next session. I'm definitely open to that. We can open up a Badass Indexer, and I'll show you how that works in the second session. That'll be something else that we'll cover and we'll go over in the next session if that's something you guys want to see. So how many cities are on this? I don't know how many cities there are because like I just picked 5 states. Ever how many cities there were. I didn't exclude any, if that's what you're asking. So I didn't exclude any. Now let's just take a look at these pages. Okay. This right here, drug rehab in Heber, Arizona. Okay. You just look at this. I just cranked this out really, really quick. A lot of people are asking me like how I generate my content. Where do I get my content from? There's a couple of different ways that you can do this. Daryl, just respond to the one that you've been. I think you've been talking with my assistant about a couple of things. Just respond to that one. I believe I saw that in there. But if that's not you, then just shoot it over to Derek at SEOBlackOps.com or support at ScholesMarketing.com. Either one. I'll see what I can do, Dale. No limit on the cities. No, I'm not limiting the cities or anything like that. But what I am doing is I'm putting these into stages. So like in this case, like you'll see this one right here. I've only got 5 states selected. Okay, so maybe I'm usually doing between 3 and 5 initially. So then what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll add states to it. Okay, so like maybe a week later or 2 weeks later or whatever, I'll go back and add more to it. And the reason that I'm doing that is just to make this thing look a little more natural. Okay, it's my belief that it just doesn't look natural to have from 0 to like a gazillion pages all in one time. So what I'm doing is I'm putting these up into stages. Does that make sense? Gordon, I'll look for that post. I didn't see that, I don't think. So when you add more states, does it overwrite the whole thing? It will create the site all over again. Okay. So you don't have to do anything else. That's the cool thing about this. So like, let's say we wanted to add California. Okay. So we just click next. Now I don't have to do anything to the post. The post is still here, right? I don't have to create another post or anything like that. The post is still here that I've already made. So all I'm doing is just adding the state here. If I wanted to add another one, I'm going to go next. And again, the post is still intact. Yeah, so eventually you can have all 50 states on one site or whatever. That's not a problem. It's just I like to spread them out. So some people have a difference of opinion. Some people just like to go all the balls to the wall and just hammer and put them all out there. When you do that, it may take a little bit longer to deploy to your server, and it may take a little bit longer to generate the files. Okay, because when I showed the demos, we did like 4 or 5, maybe even 10 states. I think sometimes I did 20 in some of the demos. But whenever you start creating them for every single city and state, it might not be as fast for deploying to your server. Does that make sense? So this is a really good question. It's a really good question. It comes from Daryl, and this is the thing that I like about this. Okay, it says, will it lead? And I was going to get to this, but we'll kind of discuss this here in just a second. I'll kind of put this into terms of how this can really benefit you. Okay, so this is more about how this. I'm gonna talk about how this can really benefit you. So will it leave existing pages in place if we don't reselect them? We can just add without overriding past content. The answer is yes. Okay, so let's just say, for example, the reason why this is cool, and I'm going to repeat the question, will it leave existing pages in place if we don't reselect them? We can just add without overriding past content. The answer is yes. Okay, now here's why this is cool, and here's why this is a benefit to you. Okay, here's why this is a benefit to you. Let's just say, hang on one second. I hope you guys see this benefit here. Open up a notepad so I can kind of explain this. All right, so let's just say, for example, you've got a client that wants, let's say, 10 cities. Okay, is that pretty feasible? Is that pretty doable? You guys think like 10 cities, somebody wants 10 cities if you've already got a client. Does that make sense? They just want 10 cities. They don't want phone calls for every single city that's out there in the state. Okay? So like, I'll give you an example here. So I live in a town called Muscle Shoals. Alabama. Now, in Muscle Shoals, there's these following cities. There's Florence, there's Muscle Shoals, there's Tuscumbia, there's Sheffield, there's Leeton, and there's Russellville is fairly nearby here. And then there's Lexington, and there's another one called Anderson. Okay, so you guys get the gist of this. There's the cities, and there's some smaller cities. Someone would benefit by having these. Let's say we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 cities here listed. Okay, so somebody in Muscle Shoals would welcome business from any of these cities. Okay, but now they wouldn't welcome business from Birmingham, Huntsville. And the reason is because Huntsville is 1.5 hours away. Birmingham is 2 to 2.5 hours away. Does that make sense so far? So what you can do is, since the pages are going to stay intact whenever you publish them, so what you can do is you can create for these 10 cities, and you have one phone number for them. Okay, so let's say it's 256-555-1212. Okay, now after you publish these, when you come back into Force Multiplier, you unselect these cities. You don't publish them again because it'll override them. But if you unselect them, then you could come in here and you could add Huntsville and all the surrounding cities with it. So Madison would be another one. Athens would be another. Decatur might be another. And what you can do is you can have a second phone number go into these. And let's say that phone number is 256-555-1213. Okay. And then let's say you want to branch out into Birmingham. Okay. So you could do Birmingham, Alabaster, and I don't know any of the other ones, but you could have a third phone number, and that would be like 205-555-1212. Okay, does that make sense? Nice. Nope. Okay, so. And yes, you can change the phone numbers. You can change the phone numbers. You can change the landing pages, and you can change the content altogether. So let me just show you. Let's just kind of give this as an example, okay? So you guys kind of get what I'm saying here. I want you guys to be excited about this because this tool is pretty badass. Not bragging on myself or anything like that, but we've put a lot of work into this thing. I want you guys to be proud that this is that you can do this. I just don't. It's just trying to communicate everything that it does in an hour or 30 minutes or a 5-minute demo video. It's sometimes kind of complex. And then some people, don't, people are at different levels, and that's not knocking anybody or anything like that, because I didn't know all the stuff when I started out, and by no means. But in some instances where we're all talking on different levels, so I want to just kind of walk through and just so we kind of all get it, kind of get the gist of what's going on here. So like, let's just say, for example, we're doing Alabama, and the reason I'm doing Alabama is because I know that. Okay, so In this case, we want to only do a certain number of cities. Okay, so like let's say you see all these cities, right? Okay, so we only want to put in the ones that I was saying: Florence, Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, and no, but we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so we got those three. So in this case, what we would do, we click next, we'd create the post, and we could do we'll just title this Shoals phone number. Well, let me just we'll do air conditioning. How about that? So air conditioning in, and then we'll do city like that. Call 256-555-1212. Okay. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll just put in our content, whatever that is, whatever you want. Spin it if you want. Click save. And then we're going to go to next. Okay, we're going to put in all this, and we'll do, and I recommend you stick with like an overriding theme, like a brand or whatever. So we'll do this one as AC Repair Experts. Homepage, and this is the site title. This is the overall site title, what's going to be. Homepage description, this is the description in the homepage, so you don't want to spin this. This will be AC Repair Experts. No job, too big or small. One call does it all. Okay, so then we got the post page description. The post page description is what you want your city identifiers to be. So like that would be where you could put in the city placeholder. You could say looking for AC repair in city. We do it all. Okay, just leave it like that. And then we could do AC repair experts in us.com. Okay, I just made that up. So this is not a real domain. So just click next. And here, what you can do is, let's say you want to have a specific pop-up code. Well, you can have that pop-up code. You can put in a URL just for the Shoals residents. So that pop-up code may be like, hey, are you looking for the best deal on AC repair in the Shoals? Call 256-555-1212. And you could put in, you could do the just the URL if you've got a different, like if you wanted to put the pop-up or whatever where it takes up the whole page, you could set up a landing page in something like Optimize Press or something like that. You could set something up like that and have them go directly to the page that you want, whatever it is. Or if you've got a client that's got a page for that specific city that they want them filled out, like with a name, email, phone number, description, you could have that. Then you click save, and you'll see that's what that's going to look like. Okay, so we're going to go down to next, and this is where we fill in our cPanel and all that stuff. Subdirectory, if you want to put this in a directory, you can. And in that case, you would just put in whatever directory that you want. You just list it like that, directory, like that. That's all that you would do. Click next, and we're going to do force multiplier test AC repair, and we're going to hit save. All right, looks like I messed something up here. The config footer format is invalid. Again, we've been making some tests, so this is not anything to be alarmed about. Let me go in here and see if we can get this thing fixed. See what I did wrong. This would be where you put in your cPanel. So maybe this is what this is. All right, I'm at a loss, guys. This looks bad. We'll get this fixed. Yeah, and you can use a subdomain there. You can use a subdomain. Thanks, Dave. Dave says, I got the error. Also, you have to choose a link color. Okay, so let's go back to design. That's just a bug we got to work out, so that'll be fixed. Matter of fact, let me take a screenshot of that. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see if that works. All right. So it looks like I'm having to do all these colors here. So let's just do this. All right. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Oh, stressing me out right there. Yeah, so we'll get that squared away. I've got a screenshot there. And yes, you can use a subdomain. All right, so now we've got this one done, right? We've got this done. Let's say, we just picked those 3 cities. Okay, so we had those Florence, Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia. We picked those 3. So now let's say we want to create Huntsville, Madison, and Athens. Okay, so now what should happen is we go back in here and we double click on this and we just type in Huntsville, Madison, and Athens. Okay, we click next. And we put in our Huntsville, Madison, Athens phone number. Click save. And next. And next. And here's where we can actually change the pop-up code again to our now Huntsville. And you can even put in your city code too, or your city placeholder. Okay, and then click next. Click next, and then you click save. Okay, and then you would deploy that. So what we did is the first go around, we created it with Florence, Muscle Shoals, and Tuscumbia with one phone number. And then we unselected those, and then we turned around and created Huntsville, Madison, and Athens with a different pop-up and with a different phone number. Does that make sense? Sweet. All right. So you can do that and just keep adding to it. So the advantage, so like, let's just put this in terms of local SEO markets. You get a client, Florence, Muscle Shoals, Tuscumbia, you direct it to their phone number, to one phone number. All right. Then all these other ones, you can have them all go into, like you could have every other city going to an 800 number. Get something like on Twillo or, Callfire or something like that. Have them all go into a 1-800 number. And then you could redirect those to other businesses, or if you wanted to have the page that said something like, hey, how would you like to get leads off of this page or something like that? Call, this number and have them calling you. Okay. So that's how you can do that. All right, Scott, can I check to see if it worked? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I didn't deploy it to a domain, Scott. I was just using that as an example. We've been testing that, yeah. So it works. It's just we're making some tweaks right now. Like I was saying, programmers on some of the stuff right now that like the reason why that was that way was because in the first version it wasn't saving the designs for whatever reason. So we fixed that, and I'm sure that's why that little error popped up beforehand. Yep, so you can use a different, if you want to use a different pop-up or use a different landing page. And when I say a landing page, I mean, like, let's say you create the URL where you've got that landing page. You could create the different lander to go there as well. So the big buzzword, this is what someone typed in here. It's actually coming from Mike. The big buzzword right now is schema markup. Could you address that as a concerns force multiplier? Mike, are you in the Fight Club group at all? We just had like a big discussion about that. Someone typed in something in the group, and I'll kind of touch on it real quick. Someone typed in something into support, said, hey, you said we were going to have schema and blah, 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 blah. And from day one, there's been schema. There's been elements of schema that were in it, and we've been adding more and more to it. This latest version has actually more schema. If you've got schema, use it. But they were saying like it's critical to rank on the first page of Google in order to do that. Okay. So that's completely false. Okay. It's not critical. It's not critical. It will help in some instances, like if you're trying to rank for some local terms and things like that, it does help to have it. Okay. It's not going to be a critical point. And the reason why I say it's not critical is because what happens a lot of times is some people will say, oh, well, I've got to learn the schema thing before I take action. Do you know how long schema has been out? Does anybody want to guess how long it's been out? Now, those of you that are in the Fight Club that have seen my post, you're not allowed to say. I want you to let me know in the chat box how many of you guys know how long schema has been out. Anybody know? Uh, 2011. 2011. So it's not anything new. You know what I mean? So if you've got it, use it, right? It's not going to hurt you. But don't feel like you've got to learn a whole nother element to be able to rank. I've got stuff that's ranking without schema, but I use schema. Okay, so I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's not a critical piece. It's another thing to add to the equation. It's another piece of the puzzle. Does that make sense? No, this doesn't have anything to do with WordPress or any kind of plugins or anything like that, Andy. Daryl, I try to make something when we create when we release the new version. That'll be more geared toward that. If that's cool. Is that cool? Let me, someone's asking about the Facebook group, so let me just make sure. This is the best way here. To see what's going on, to chat. It's not a spam group or anything like that. Most everybody here has either purchased something at some point from me, but it's feel free to go in there, ask questions. If you've got a site that you would like to, have somebody to look at or something like that, don't go in there and solicit business. Don't put in like affiliate links to pharmaceuticals or Ray-Ban sunglasses or anything like that. So, but it's there to help, to communicate, and for everybody to kind of help each other and pitch in and whatnot. So, yeah, so feel free to join that. I put stuff in there. I try to keep a pretty active conversation going. It's not just, hey, here's something to buy either. It's not that. It's, I'll go in there and we'll talk about different stuff and whatnot. So, Gordon, nice job. Built my first site 5 days ago, more than 2,000 pages indexed already and 20 pages in the top 10, all without doing any indexing or backlinking. Sweet. So now, Gordon, you can take those 10, those 20 pages that's in the top 10 already, and you can use that in your portfolio of stuff when you're doing a presentation. So let's say you're calling on somebody, SEO. Prime example. I listed my house with a real estate agent this morning, okay? And she's the best in our area, I think. Like I've been using this lady for 15 years, okay? Never have I had any issues with selling a house. Like most of the houses that I've had have all sold within 30 days when I list with this particular realtor. She's amazing. She's probably one of the top 3 or top 5 producers in our area. Okay, I think she's got the top company now because she bought the company a couple of years ago, and she's really lacking in the digital space. Okay, so I started talking to her about a few things, and I've known her for a long time. And when you come in my house, and I say, this is all I do is internet marketing stuff. It's one of those things where she sees my microphone and the computers and all that stuff, and it's kind of a nerdville. But, when she sees that, and then I start talking to her like, okay, here's what you can be doing, right? And I start talking about results. That's when you want to whip out that stuff. So not only can you make money from it, but you need to be using that stuff to get you other money coming in, okay? Does that make sense? And that's for everybody, right? So let's say you haven't picked up a client yet. Start publishing sites like a madman. Start getting some results coming in, and what'll happen is you're going to start getting some traffic. You're going to start making a little bit of money from those sites, and then what you can turn around and do is then use them to kind of boost your portfolio of sites, right? You can boost that for going out and getting more local clients. Okay, so yeah, no problem. Okay, so how do you suggest to check for rank? Because what happens is we've got all these thousands of pages, right? It's really this is kind of the pain when you're building out, 10, 20,000 pages. The trackers and things like that, is super, super expensive. So what I recommend that you do, and what I use, is a software from Inspire. It's called Rank Reporter. So it's rank. If you just Google Rank Reporter Inspire, INSPYDER. Let me see if I can Google that and find it for you guys. This is not an affiliate link. This is just what I use, and it works pretty well. You'll need to use proxies, which most of you guys probably already have proxies. This is the link to it. Okay. And you can go out there and you can check these every so often. And that will help you as far as checking the rank. So this is it right here. And that's what I use. I've got a rank checker too for some other stuff, for my other sites and whatnot, but specifically for creating these mass pages, this is a better option for you because you're not having to pay like an outrageous monthly fee to check all thousands of keywords. You can plug them in and let it run. Daryl, that's what I was saying. I'm going to try to make a video on that. when we release the latest one. Does Rank Reporter produce reports that you could show a client? Yes. Yeah, it'll you can create a report in a PDF. I think it will even export it as an image too. I'm not real sure on that, but I know it will create a PDF report so you can actually print that out and give it to a client as well. Appreciate it, Tony. Appreciate it. Yes, Craig. Craig says that bought Rank Report yesterday, worked well for a while, but then burn out the proxies. Do you need to change the default settings? Yes, I changed the default settings to where it's only looking at the first 10 results. That's the reason why when you saw my results that I was putting in the groups and things like that, it only showed 1 through 10. Like I didn't scan anything else. If you let it scan, it will scan the first 10 pages. I only want the first 10 results, so only the first page of Google. So that will help you. That will help you as far as your proxies go. So, kind of talk a little bit about content. A lot of people have asked about content. I'll get to that here in just a moment. Let me go back here to this screen here. I want to show you guys this too, because this is something that getting back onto the schema thing. I'll show you guys this. So even though I don't think schema is critical, I do think it's something that you need to be paying attention to. And the reason I say it's not critical, like I said, it's just I don't want people saying, hey, you've got to have schema in order to rank. That's not true. Does it help? You know, I've seen in instances where I feel like it's helped. But personally, I have not tested using a same keyword with schema versus not having schema, right? So it's one of those things, if you've got it, use it, okay? So that's what we've done in here. So if you look here at the articles tab, let me go back here. You'll see this post author, okay? So this post author is part of the schema that is going to be displayed whenever you publish your post. So you can create this. This is optional. You don't have to have it, but this is one part of the schema. Another thing it's gonna pull the images from your articles. It will pull the images, that's schema there. You've also got the article itself, which is schema. Then you've got the address, which is another part of schema, and then you've got the headline that's schema. So there's several different pieces that's automatically built in that you don't have to do anything, that it's already got the snippets built into it. Okay, so when you publish the pages, it's automatically got it. Does that make sense? Cool. Would it help to use a hashtag in the post? I have no clue. I wouldn't think so, Scott. I think that's more for just this is just more for having an author, and that's going to be showed up in the actual schema itself. So it's going to say author, and then it'll be like Scott Rogers. Okay, or if you're making up a fake one, which if you're doing a lot of these, I would probably create some fake ones. That's a schema element. Okay, I don't believe that's spinnable. I don't think so, no. Okay, are we limited to 3 posts? The answer is no, because you're creating thousands of pages, right, or thousands of posts. What this is if you're wanting to do more than one keyword, which I only use one keyword. So when I create a page or a site, usually it's centered and focused around that one particular keyword. What this is for, where you see these 3 posts, is if you wanted to use multiple keywords. So like this one, for example, would be like air conditioning in city. Okay, so let's say we wanted to do a second keyword, right? We wanted to have a second keyword targeting the same exact cities, that we had pulled in our first step here, then what we would do is we would create a second post. Now, what goes along with air conditioning repair? What goes along with air conditioning repair that you may want to target? What is you see a lot of AC repair companies, or you see a lot of air conditioning companies that are also plumbing companies, right? So what you can do is you could do plumbing and city, or you could do city plumbers, or whatever variation that you want this to be in. And then you have your plumbing article right here. Okay. Now, if you wanted a third keyword, you just plug that in this post number 3. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to create a post for air conditioning in city, whatever cities that you've got plugged in here, variable. So if you've selected 5 states and you've got, a couple thousand cities, then that's going to have 2,000, how many cities you've got, that's going to put a post up for each one of those cities for air conditioning. You got this right here. You've got plumbing. It's going to put up another 2,000 posts, or ever how many cities you've got selected in this second post. So does that make sense? Cool. How do you create smaller sitemaps? The sitemaps are automatically built into it. So they're already pretty small because you got this sitemap here, and you got these states, and then it's all built on the cities. That's all you need right there. What I was saying earlier is because this is built by state, the sitemaps will get these pages indexed faster, as opposed to having just one big sitemap with just every city out there. It'll take forever for the bots to come crawl it. Can you combine city and custom variable to do something similar to multiple keywords? Not sure about that, John. Not sure. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the content creation side. Okay, content creation side. Yes, Michael, the system puts all the cities in automatically. Yes, unless you delete the cities or don't want the cities, then it will put them in automatically. So the thing with creating mass pages like this and creating a lot of pages is, I think, for me, like, my content is never like grade A content. Okay. So you see a lot of people that feel like that they have to have everything perfect before they roll anything out. That's not where you're going to make money from this. Okay. If you wait till everything's perfect and you wait till everything is just every I's dotted, T's crossed, and punctuations are perfectly, you're not going to get anywhere with this. Your strong point is speed. Your strong point is speed. It's not being perfect. Okay. So if you look at all these sites, we look at this like we looked at this drug rehab, right? Site : drug rehab and treatment.org. Okay. No backlinks, no nothing, no indexing, 2,210 pages. Now, if Google was like really particular about these articles, what do you think? Do you think that they would not index them if they were like really particular about the articles? Exactly. Hey, Mike, appreciate you being here, man. I really do. Let me know if I can help you in any way. Why is there no pop-up on this? This was used, Sean, as a demo. I didn't use a pop-up on this one. I just didn't use one. There's no meaning behind it or no secret behind it or anything. I was just going through and just cranking these out just for some demos that I did last week whenever we were doing them, and I just didn't put one up. Okay, well, I'll probably end up going back and doing is I'll probably go back and make a nice looking little a nice little logo like yours truly only can. Like you see here. Yeah. No, nobody's asking for my Photoshop skills, are they? Nobody wants my Photoshop technique. Yeah, okay. So what I'll probably do is create like a fancy logo like I did here. Yeah. And plug it in and then create a landing page. I've actually submitted applications to a couple of different networks for this drug rehab and waiting to hear back from them. So the drug rehab market, just so you know, will pay, I think what I showed before was like $125 to $300 a lead. You don't need a ton of leads for these to be able to churn money, right? Let's say you get let's just say, for example, you get 2 calls. Let's use that, say you get 2 leads per month. Okay, 2 leads per month can mean anywhere from $200 to $600 a month. Does that make sense? That's on one property, right? That's one property. And you're just cranking these out just one right after another. So once you find one that's profitable, then you want to really 10x it. Once you find one that's profitable, that's making you some money, then you want to 10x it. Then you create 10 just like it. Create 10 identical. So you want to don't tell anybody what it is either. Just go in and just go crazy with it, right? So you're expecting the pop-up to have the money affiliate link. Yes. So the pop-up is going to have either a link to whatever it is I'm trying to sell. So in this case, in this drug rehab, what I would do is I would say, I would have the pop-up and it would say, whatever I'm trying to whatever offer I've got, I would have my phone number there front and center for them to be able to call. So that way, if they land on it, like, hey, get whatever the offer is. So let's say if it's get a free booklet on how to get your loved one recovered or whatever. Say it's that. Just call 1-800 blah 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 blah. Right? I would have that front and center picture of the booklet that they're going to get. Call this number, whatever. That's kind of what I'm doing. Yep. So Amy says 10 domains identical. Yes, I would make 10 just like it. I would create them all on different IP addresses through Host9. So that way they look like they're coming from different places. I would create different personas or different brands to where they look totally different. If you're making money with one and you multiply it by 10, you're gonna make more money, right? That's something I teach people all the time. Like once you find a profitable keyword or a profitable niche or a profitable market, you go in and you 10x that instead of just continuously trying to focus on other things that you are testing the waters on. Go in and dive deep and just bury it. Okay. So where do you find companies that pay for leads, like in the drug rehab example? Go to offervault.com. Offervault.com is it's got all kinds of stuff from affiliate offers, but you want to look at this. If you're doing like a pay-per-call campaigns, look at the pay-per-call, okay? And you'll see this payout right here. Some of these are sponsored, but you can sort this based on the payout. So if I hit the down button again, you'll see right here, Xarelto effects. This is legal. This is a legal case. I'm sure Xarelto is like some sort of drug. So this looks new, right? So $400 a lead, okay? $400 a lead. Addiction treatment. That's what we're talking about right here. $300 a lead. Okay, I don't know what this one is, but let's just look at this. IVC. Okay, so this is people that have been injured with IVC. All right, so credit repair, 105. Okay, So you can see you're not going to need a ton of these to really make it work. Now, here's the cool thing about this is once you start getting some leads coming in and you start making some money on some of these sites, and some of these are going to be more, the more money that it pays out, just realize it's going to be a little bit more competitive. You may have to drop some links and things like that. The thing with it, though, is you're not going to have to have a whole lot of calls coming in. You're not going to have a whole lot of leads coming in. So what happens is once you start getting money coming in on this, let's say you're making $400 or $500 a month per site, guess what you're able to do then after, let's say 4, 5, 6 months of results? What can you do? What can you do? Sell it. Exactly. You can sell it. You can either do one of two things. You can make a deal with the company that's buying the leads instead of going through this third party, or you can use you can turn around and go to somewhere like Flippa and say, hey, here's 6 months of earnings of $300 a month. Okay. And you can make a lump sum of it and just turn it over to them. Okay. So that's kind of the idea. So you're able to generate some money from it, and then you're able to turn around and flip it if that's something that you want to do. Okay. So, Michael, you can do it. It just depends on what you're trying to do. If you could drop links, if you drop links to like the main page, then just realize the links are going to follow and going to flow to the other pages. It's going to drip to the other pages. So I'll try to explain that in our next session, because we're already over an hour at this point. I do want to talk about, because I had several people ask already about content. My voice is almost fried anyway. Content creation. Like I was saying before, you don't have to have just grade A, #1 content. Okay. If you wait on everything to be do everything perfect, it's not going to happen. Okay. Think about churn and burn. Think about pumping these sites out. Don't fall in love with them. Just pump them out. Just start pumping them out. So on these sites, yeah, John, we'll cover that in the next session, the video strategy that I was talking about. It's going to be it'll be next Friday. You can use this with video, like embedding your videos too. But what I'm going to show you in the next session is kind of separate. It's separate from force multiplier, but it's kind of using the same idea and the same technique. Okay. So, it's just literally just showing you how to create, thousands, of video properties that's out there too, or hundreds of video properties, and being able to submit them. I always use, and I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, is just seeing the questions come in. I'll get to the content here in just a second. But what I always do is they're asking about, can you use a XYZ TLD? I like to use .com.net or .org. That's just me though. Look for GoDaddy coupons. Once you buy a GoDaddy domain, a lot of times they'll send you a coupon for like 20 or 30% off your next order. So buy them in bulk if you can. Okay, that'll save some money on each domain name as well. All right, so what I typically do, there's two things that I do to generate content. The content that you see here on this force water restoration and some of the other ones that I've used in examples is I'll just go to Google. You guys are going to laugh at this because you guys are thinking probably, oh, he's got some sort of secret source, some sort of secret writer that's doing it for, they're paying him $2 to write his articles for. No, that's not it. Okay. I wish. So what I'll do is, like, let's say it's personal training. Okay. I'll come in here. I'll find a personal trainer website. Again, this is what I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm not telling you not to do this. I'm just telling you what I do. Okay. I'll find a website that looks like it's got good content on it. Something like this, I mean, I don't know if this is one of them, but let me just go back here. I'll keep digging until I find one that's got a pretty good lengthy article. Okay. So we got personal training, Equinox. Okay. This doesn't look like I want something beefy, like beefy content, right? So this looks like this might work. So what I'll do is I'll just come in here and I'll hit the copy button. And I will go in and I will take out the brand name or the, like in this case, the ACE integrated fitness training model. I'll take that out. I'll just read through it real quick and take that out and replace it with mine. So like in the Big Dog personal training, something like that. Okay. BDP. Okay. So I just try to make it as brandable as I possibly can. So then what I do is I take that article and then I go over to Word AI. This is strategy number one. I'm going to show you two strategies for doing this. So this is Word AI. I'll come in here and I'll log in, and you can use. Let's see here. I hate these stupid captchas. All right, you can use Word AI, or you can use. There's another one called. What's the name of it? What's the name of the other spinner? What's the other name for the spinner, guys? It's on the tip end of my tongue. I can't think of it. It's not the best spinner. It's Spin Rewriter. Yeah, John. You and Craig both are on top of it. Spin Rewriter. Use one of these. Use Word AI or use Spin Rewriter. I don't care which one. Just use one of them. These are better than the other spinners that are out there. So I'll just come in here and I'll just do standard spinner and I'll drop the article in here and I'll click spin now. And it's going to spit out something, and that's what I use for my content. Okay. The other way that I do this is through a software called, this is strategy number 2. So that's the first strategy. I just copy and then spin it. That's it. Nothing hard, nothing complex. I'm not thinking a whole lot about it. I just all I do is I'm sure to take the brand names out of it and replace them with whatever I'm going to make my domain in this case, like Big Dog Personal Training. I'd use that instead of ACE. All right, so I take that out. The second strategy that I use also, and that's what I use for this drug rehab and treatment. You'll see these were all scraped articles. So I'm using a service called Content Machine, and it's basically that's with a K, Content Machine, and I'll send you guys a link here in just a second in case you want to pick it up. But it's a software. It's on Windows. I'll show you guys that next week if you guys want me to. I think probably most of you are familiar with it, but if you want me to show you that next week, I'll be on my Windows machine and we'll kind of go over it and kind of hash it out. But basically what it is, it's a software that you put in your keyword and it will spit out a highly spun, highly unique article. Content's not great, but it's enough to get by. Okay. So does that make sense to everyone? Let me know in the chat box if that makes sense. Okay, now that is affiliate link right there that I just sent you guys. I wouldn't be doing a good job if I didn't throw at least one affiliate link. Well, would I? Content Machine. I can take my wife out to dinner if you buy it. No pressure or anything like that. Some of you already have Spin Rewriter. If you do, just use it. You know, if you're still using the best spinner, then just use that. You know, again, the content doesn't have to be great. Content doesn't have to, but this is the Content Machine will allow you to plug in your Spin Rewriter credentials or your Word AI credentials, or it also has a built-in spinner as well. But basically what it's for, it's scraping all these different sources, articles, and it's kind of merging them together to try to make it a little bit more unique. Makes sense. And how many articles do you use and how to add it in force multiplier? Edward, basically what I do is in this case, whenever we get the spun article, I'll just copy that one article and plug it into force multiplier. Okay, so in here, I just come in and if I'm getting it from Word AI, I'll just paste it in here. Okay, so I'll just paste it there. If I'm getting it from Content Machine, I click the source button because there's some paragraph breaks and some HTML in there. I'll hit the source button and I'll paste it in here right there. Okay, so there's not specifically a number of articles. It's just spun content. It's basically what it is. I like to shoot for anywhere from 500 to 700 words. That's what I'm shooting for in most of my stuff. So the key is to get people to interact with a pop-up or overlay because the content is unlikely to get people calling or clicking. Exactly. So something you can do, Gordon, is you can position, if you wanted to position your content in such a way where like you got like a flashing banner at the top. You could put a banner ad at the very top here. You could also, you've got the sidebar. I didn't activate the sidebar in this one, but there's a sidebar here. You can actually plug in like a big long banner. So that way, if they exit out of the pop-up by some chance, then there's a big banner here in the content. So like it'd be like right under this drug rehab in Winfield. You could have a big banner ad right here. And then you could also have another ad on the sidebar. So like if you look at this one, this example that I did right here, Big Dog Personal Training.com. You see right here. Okay, so this is showing up on all the pages. So you could have a banner that goes right here that covers the top of the fold, and then another banner right here. And then you have the pop-up. So that way you've got 3 points to try to get them into the mix. The drug rehab site looks like there's multiple articles used. Is that because you use different articles for groups of cities? No, Edward. It's just because it's a highly spun article. It's just a really highly spun article. So this is all the same article, and this was all pulled from Content Machine. I don't think so, Sean. Yes, the banner can have a link on it. Yes. John, I'll see what I can do about maybe, I don't know if it's even feasible. I don't know. I'm not a coder, but I'll see what I can do as far as like making it smaller or removing it altogether. Yeah, Michael says, so the article is all about baldness and drug rehab. Yeah, it was just scraped. It was just scraped content. So any article that mentioned drug rehab, there might be some stuff about particular drugs in there, maybe about baldness. I really don't know. I didn't like proof it or anything. So like you see this one right here, drug treatment centers in Maryland could be the perfect place for individuals. See, this was just scraped. This is just scraped content. You notice this is drug rehab in Adamsville, Alabama, and it says something about in Maryland. It's because this article was just a scraped article. So then you got Newport Beach DUI attorney. Again, it's not good content, right? It's not great content at all. What do you open the links file with? John, are you talking about the when you go right here to Are you talking about this export links function? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Michael says, if the content is better, does it rank better? No. Nope. So not what I found. Not for this. Not for this. Okay. Basically, what you have to do, this is going to be downloading into a zip file. So I'm going to download this, and what you can do then, I'm not on the PC, but what you can do is open up Excel, and then you can let me just open this up right here. Okay, so you see what this is going to be right here. So this is a text file. Okay, so whenever you open this up in Excel, you'll have to go to Excel, then click Open, and then find this file, and then you can click Next, and you can separate this by comma. Okay, so if you do that, then this is going to appear in 2 columns, and then you can just copy the links if you want to, or you can copy the keywords if you want to. Adrian, I'm going to try to show that on the next one if I can. I've never used this on a subdomain. I've had a lot of people ask about that on this call, so I'm going to try to figure that out on the next one, and the best way to do that. I don't want to show you guys something wrong. I don't use a subdomain on this. I'm using this on the root, and I've used it on directories, and that's been it. Does that help you? Sean, right there? Or John, I'm sorry, it was John. I was asking about that. John, does that make sense on the open this in Excel? Cool. All right. So next session, what we're going to talk about, we are going to be covering more about, if you guys want to see Content Machine, I kind of give you a glimpse of that, how I'm kind of using that. Again, that's on a separate machine than what this one is. I'll be on that separate machine. I'm going to show you how to multiply your videos in conjunction, kind of with the same mentality as using force multiplier. We'll talk a little bit about video and embedding video and how that can help your video rankings. And also we'll talk more into detail about, using this on a subdomain and that type of stuff. And let's see here. So let me just show you this real quick. While someone mentioned this real quick, and I just want to touch on this real quick before we go. But yeah, we'll go over all that stuff. I'll be on the other machine, so I can. That's where most of my SEO tools are, and so I wanted to kind of just give you guys a bird's eye view of like some of the new stuff that we've got coming, what we're going to be doing with some of this, as far as like how you can leave cities out and things like that, and really tweak this to your offers. It's going to I didn't even advertise that when we were marketing the software. And so that's going to really open up a whole nother world of possibilities and potential for being able to make more money. Let me go to this real quick here. Can Force Multiplier choose between 5 or more videos to put on the page? Yes. Okay, so once you get this published, here's what you do, right? Remember I was saying speed is the big thing. So I don't know how many of you guys are using this, but this allows you to copy a campaign. So you can say you can preview the campaign, right, with a little eyeball right there. But let's say you want to copy one. You just hit this. And you copy it. Okay, and now all you got to do is to go in here and change your cPanel options and your site info options. So that you'd be using this on a separate domain, like a second domain. So you change this domain here. You would change the cPanel information, and I would also recommend changing the design a little bit. But that allows you to quickly get these campaigns saved and get them deployed and get them up and running. So literally, you could crank out 10 of these in a matter of just a couple of just literally a few minutes. Really, I mean, you crank out 10 of them and have them up and running within an hour. Okay, if you just set this up right and really focus on what you're doing, getting the one done right, and then just cranking and duplicating and replicating those over and over again. So, any questions before we call this a day? Yep. So when you copy it, it's using the same exact content. Remember, I mean, you were looking at those articles. You couldn't see any real footprint in them because they all look completely unique. Like somebody was saying, oh, you've used more than one article. No, it was one article. It was just all spun, really highly spun. New version number 2 is live. Version number 2 is live. Version number 3 will be ready hopefully in the next day or two. Yes, I'm using Qzx900 reseller to mix up the IPs. Appreciate it, Tony. Thank you. Yes, Google will still rank those pages or those sites. Yes. Do I have these webinars posted someplace? This is the first one, Scott, but I will have this. I will have this posted in the members area. And by the way, if you guys are, if you've enjoyed this, let me know in the chat box. Let me know you've enjoyed the session or whatever. And I'm going to show you guys something here too that I'm going to do. Since you guys picked up force multiplier, again, this is not a pitch or anything like that. It's the worst pitch in the world. But if you're wanting more training, you're wanting to get more involved with this type of stuff, I have a inner circle group, and it's typically $197 and then $49 a month. Since you guys invested in this force multiplier software, I'm gonna send you guys this. This is a link. It's not gonna be around forever, but this basically waives the initial $197, so you can get in at $49 and just pick up from there. If that's something that you guys want to do, there's already a ton of training in there, a lot of stuff. We meet the first and third Mondays of every month, and there's additional content that goes on the members area and the members site as well. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, just go to that link that's in the chat box. Again, that's just for those, since you guys invested in force multiplier. That's not something that's publicized or anything like that. If you go to the site and try to join, it's $197 up front, and then $49 a month from there. Gordon, hang on a second. I'm going to send you something, Gordon. By the way, Gordon, I made sure on that right there. I did all the math. So, yeah. So what does it cover? Okay, so let me just kind of go over real quick and kind of show you what is in this. This is an ongoing membership. You can cancel it anytime. There's no obligation or anything like that. Let me just show you the members dashboard, and that way you guys can kind of see this. What I do is I try to break this up into different types of training from all kinds of different stuff. I appreciate that, Jack. Thank you very much. So let me just show you this real quick. So like this is the inner circle. So this is the green hat backlinking system. This is 4 different recipes or 4 different formulas for backlinking to different types of properties. So it covers video, covers money sites, that type of stuff. This right here, this is a course that I did, Borrowed Authority Method, but there's a lot more to it than that. So I'll show you how to buy PBNs. There's an entire session on buying private blog networks and setting up your PBNs. If that's something that you want to do as far as being able to rank, that's probably the easiest way to rank. It doesn't really, what we've talked about building these pages en masse, we'll go after like a lot of the low hanging fruit. If you're going to be able to rank for like really tough competitive terms, a PBN is the way to go. This local business sniper strategy, this is a session that I did on how to use, if you're doing local SEO, how to use your clients' competitors and be able to really get in and really bug the heck out of them, number one. And number two, get some really easy traffic, and your client's going to love you for it. This one is just one that we just did this past week, is how to use sequence of events in your marketing. This is more geared toward affiliate marketing if you're building a list and that type of stuff. Time saving hacks, black hat content strategies, white hat content strategies, how to build a site from build an authority site from scratch. We're adding more and more stuff to this all the time. So anyway, just kind of giving you guys a glimpse of that. I don't want this to be a pitch for that. I just wanted to make you an offer if that's something that you guys would be interested in. So anyway, let me know in the chat box if you guys have got any questions before we call this a day. Again, that link is in your chat box. So any questions before we call it a day? Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, Sue, go ahead. Let's say I have some sites that force multiplier got on page 1. Can I delete the force multiplier site on the page 1 and replace it with a WP site without losing my Google page 1 listing? I have no clue how you would do that. The only way that you'd be able to do that is mimic the exact linking structure, and then still with changing everything, it may throw it into a whirlwind. So instead of doing that, here's what I would do. I would leave the force multiplier site, and then I would turn around. If I wanted to create a secondary site, I would create that WordPress secondary site if that's something that you wanted to do. That would be probably the best way. How to use force multiplier to build a PBN. That's not what it's for. It's not force multiplier is not for a PBN. It's for building these pages to get like a massive amount of content out there, and to scoop up a lot of the low competition to even mid competition keywords that you can rank for fairly easily. That's really what it's for. If you're wanting to do if you're wanting to do a PBN, you really need to go through the PBN course that I've got. Okay, so let me go through here. Send me something, Sue. Like, let me know in my support desk if you're having issues with that. I'm not following you. Send me as many details as you can, Sue. Like what you mean? It's not showing up. Is it not indexed? Is it not been published? Kind of give me as many details as you possibly can. When you add more states, is it a good idea to add another page of content? No, I don't do that. I'll look into that, Sue. Make sure. Okay. When you buy a domain from Host9, Russ, I have no idea. I don't buy my domains from Host9. I'm buying them through GoDaddy or through Namecheap. That's going to be your best option. But when you add them to Host9, all you should be doing is adding the domain. It should be the same process. When you add the domain to your cPanel, that should be it. If you're buying the domain through Host9 servers, then you just need to go in and ask Host9 how to direct the name servers to your Host9 name servers. Like I've never used Host9 to buy a domain name. I sent you guys a support desk. Okay, so yeah, send me that. Send me your all your details. Send me all your details. Like when you follow up with support, send me like your login, force multiplier login, your cPanel login, the domain, and the campaign that you're using. Okay, send me as many details as you possibly can, so we can troubleshoot. Cool, Daryl. Yeah, that's in the plans. I make no promises on when that's going to be. What does that even mean, Michael? What will FM be doing in the near terms? What do you mean? What will it look like? Michael, we're making updates to this thing to make it even better. So like, what am I planning for us to like? I've went over a lot of that already. All right, so I think we've covered everything. I'm going to go over the video stuff in the next session. And then, like, if you've got any issues with, like, deployment, if it's not showing up or something like that, we've tested this with multiple servers, multiple cPanels. We hadn't had any issues. That's not to say that we're not going to have an issue with the occasional server or something like that. It is better if you have a reseller account. We've tested this multiple times with Host9 reseller, and it works really, really well. If you ever have any issues with your particular server, it's not showing up, then one thing that we built into this that you can do, and I'll show you this real quick before we call it a day, one thing that you can do is you can download this. So you can download the actual site. You can download the site right here, and you can use an FTP program to upload it. Okay, now I know it's not as sexy as just being able to push a button and it deploy into your cPanel. However, that is something that's available for you if you have any kind of issues with your cPanel. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed this call, and look forward to seeing you guys next Friday. Take care, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Thank you so much.